Ladies and gentlemen, there is a quiet force within you, waiting to rise, urging you to move forward. But too often, we find ourselves caught in the grip of hesitation, clinging to the past, fearing the unknown, resisting the very flow of life itself. Yet, what if I told you that progress is not about striving, but about allowing? That the key to moving forward is not in effort, but in presence. Life is not a straight road, nor is it a series of fixed destinations. It is an ever-changing stream. When we resist change, we create suffering. But when we surrender to the present moment, we align ourselves with the rhythm of existence. Every challenge you have faced, every difficulty that has tested you was never meant to break you. It was meant to awaken you. Struggle is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. They are signposts guiding you toward greater awareness. If you hold on to fear, you remain stuck. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will wait forever. But the moment you let go and trust in life's unfolding, you will see that the path was always there beneath your feet, waiting for you to take the next step. The essence of true progress lies in embracing the present moment. Often, people believe that moving forward means constantly planning for the future, setting goals, and pushing towards success. While these actions have their place, they can become counterproductive when they pull us away from the now. The mind is conditioned to dwell in the past or anxiously anticipate what is to come, but real transformation happens when we learn to exist fully in the present. Many people carry the weight of past regrets and disappointments, replaying memories of failures and missed opportunities. Others live in a state of constant worry, fearing an uncertain future, and believing that they must control every detail to ensure security. This way of thinking creates unnecessary suffering because it disconnects us from the only place where life truly exists, this moment. The past is a memory, and the future is a concept. Neither hold the power to shape our lives as much as the present moment does. When we resist the present, we resist life itself. Imagine a river flowing effortlessly toward the ocean. It does not stop to question where it is going, nor does it try to move backward. It simply flows. When we let go of our mental resistance and become fully engaged in the present, we tap into an inner flow that naturally propels us forward. This does not mean we abandon ambition or ignore the future. It means we approach life with a deeper awareness, allowing each step to unfold without unnecessary fear or doubt. Many people believe they must first fix their past before they can move forward. They hold on to old wounds, waiting for closure or external validation before taking the next step. But waiting for the past to be resolved is like waiting for a storm to return so we can change how we reacted to it. The past is unchangeable, but its grip on us is entirely within our control. When we shift our attention from what was to what is, we reclaim our power. Similarly, excessive concern for the future creates an illusion that happiness lies somewhere ahead, just out of reach. People tell themselves that they will feel fulfilled. Every challenge we encounter in life serves as a doorway to growth. While difficulties may appear as obstacles blocking our path, they are, in fact, guiding us toward deeper awareness and strength. When faced with hardship, the mind often resists, labeling experiences as unfair, painful, or unnecessary. However, when we shift our perspective, we begin to see that challenges are not meant to break us. They are meant to awaken us. Growth does not occur in comfort. It is in the moments of struggle that we are pushed beyond our limits, forced to confront our fears, and given the opportunity to evolve. If life were without challenges, there would be no need for transformation. The discomfort we feel when facing adversity is the catalyst that drives us to expand beyond our perceived limitations. What seems like a setback is often a redirection, a chance to reassess our path and step into something greater than we had imagined. Resistance to challenges only prolongs suffering. When difficulties arise, the ego immediately fights against them, seeking ways to avoid discomfort. This resistance creates frustration, anxiety, and stress. However, when we shift our mindset and see challenges as opportunities rather than burdens, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this?" This small shift in perception transforms hardship into a tool for personal evolution. Consider how nature operates. A tree does not grow strong by standing in perfect conditions. It strengthens its roots by withstanding storms. The same applies to us. Every challenge we overcome adds to our inner resilience. What once seemed impossible becomes part of our experience, equipping us with wisdom and strength. In retrospect, many of the difficulties we once feared have shaped us into who we are today. Painful experiences often reveal aspects of ourselves that require healing. A difficult relationship might expose unresolved wounds. A career setback may highlight an attachment. Uncertainty is an inevitable part of life. No matter how much we try to plan, control, or predict the future, it remains unknown. This lack of certainty often causes fear and anxiety as the mind craves stability and security. However, true progress requires us to move beyond this fear and trust in life's unfolding. When we embrace uncertainty with openness rather than resistance, we unlock a deep sense of inner peace and allow ourselves to move forward with clarity and confidence. Many people hesitate to take action because they want guarantees. They want to know that if they make a decision, it will lead to success. They seek reassurance that things will work out exactly as they envision. But life does not operate according to rigid expectations. It moves in unexpected ways, presenting opportunities and challenges that we cannot always foresee. If we become too attached to a specific outcome, we limit our ability to adapt and grow. Trusting the unknown does not mean being passive or careless. It means accepting that we cannot control everything and choosing to move forward despite that fact. This trust is not blind optimism. It is an understanding that life has a rhythm, and when we align with it, the right path reveals itself step by step. We do not need to. In a world that glorifies constant action, it is easy to believe that moving forward requires relentless effort. We are conditioned to think that progress comes from pushing harder, doing more, and never stopping. However, true movement does not always come from external action. Sometimes it is found in stillness. When we cultivate moments of silence and awareness, we gain the clarity and energy needed to move forward with purpose rather than chaos. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the space where meaningful action is born. When the mind is constantly racing, jumping from one thought to another, worrying about the past or anticipating the future, it becomes difficult to see the path ahead clearly. It is like stirring a pond and expecting to see the reflection at the bottom. Only when the water settles does clarity emerge. Similarly, when we allow ourselves to pause, to sit in stillness, and to simply be present, we create the conditions for deeper understanding and purposeful movement. Many people fear stillness because they associate it with stagnation. They believe that if they stop, even for a moment, they will lose momentum. But in reality, stillness is what refuels us. Consider how nature operates. A tree does not grow by constantly moving. It grows by staying rooted while absorbing energy from its surroundings. In life, we are often pulled in different directions by external circumstances. When things do not go as planned, we tend to react impulsively, allowing emotions such as fear, frustration, or anger to take over. However, true growth happens when we learn to shift from reaction to response. Instead of being controlled by external events, we cultivate inner awareness and take conscious, intentional steps forward. Reactions are automatic. They come from past conditioning, deeply ingrained fears, and habitual thought patterns. When something unexpected happens, the mind often jumps to conclusions, triggering a knee-jerk reaction. These reactions are based on old experiences, assumptions, and emotional wounds rather than the present reality. For example, if someone criticizes us, we may react defensively because of past experiences where we felt unappreciated or attacked. However, reacting in this way does not serve us. It only reinforces negative patterns. On the other hand, responding requires presence. It is the ability to pause, observe, and act from a place of awareness rather than impulse. When we respond rather than react, we create space between the event and our action. This space is where wisdom arises. Instead of being driven by fear, anger, or insecurity, we can choose a response that aligns with our values, intentions, and long-term well-being. Cultivating this shift requires mindfulness. The more we practice being present, the easier it becomes to notice our reactions before acting on them. Instead of immediately reacting to a difficult situation, we can take a deep breath, ground ourselves in the moment, and ask, what response will truly serve me and others in this situation? This simple shift in awareness transforms the way we navigate challenges, leading to more thoughtful decisions and a greater sense of inner peace. When we live in reaction mode, we feel powerless. It seems as if life is happening to us, and we are merely trying to keep up. But when we respond with awareness, we regain our sense of control, not by controlling external events, but by choosing how we engage with them. This shift empowers us to move forward with clarity and strength, knowing that we are not victims of circumstance, but conscious participants in our own growth. In relationships, shifting from reaction to response allows for deeper connection and understanding. Instead of reacting defensively in an argument, we can listen with presence and respond in a way that fosters communication rather than conflict. In moments of failure or disappointment, instead of reacting with self-judgment, we can respond with self-compassion and learn from the experience. In moments of uncertainty, instead of reacting with fear, we can respond with trust, knowing that challenges are opportunities for growth. Life will always present unexpected challenges, difficult people, and uncertain situations. We cannot control everything that happens, but we can control how we respond. The power to move forward does not lie in changing external circumstances, but in changing our relationship with them. When we shift from reaction to response, we no longer feel stuck in cycles of frustration or fear. Instead, we step into a place of awareness, strength, and purposeful action, one choice at a time. The mind, driven by the ego, craves familiarity and control. It creates invisible boundaries that define what is safe, possible, and acceptable. While these mental constructs may offer a sense of security, they also limit our ability to move forward. The ego fears uncertainty, failure, and change because it thrives on maintaining a sense of identity based on past experiences and external validation. Fear is the primary tool of the ego. It tells us that we are not ready, not good enough, or that failure is too great a risk. This fear is not based on reality. It is a projection of the mind, shaped by past conditioning and social expectations. When we listen to this fear, we remain stuck in familiar patterns, repeating the same cycles of doubt, hesitation, and avoidance. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it is also where dreams stagnate and growth is stifled. We must detach from the ego's fears and recognize them for what they are, mental constructs rather than absolute truths. This does not mean that fear will disappear. Rather, it means that we learn to see through it. When we observe fear without identifying with it, we weaken its hold over us. Instead of reacting impulsively or retreating into old habits, we gain the ability to choose differently. One of the most effective ways to move beyond the ego's limitations is to shift from identification with thought to presence. The ego thrives on storytelling. It constantly reminds us of past failures, projects negative outcomes into the future, and creates a sense of lack. But when we bring our attention to the present moment, we step out of the mind's endless chatter and into a state of clarity. In this space, fear loses its power, and we become aware of a deeper intelligence within us, one that is not dictated by conditioned beliefs, but by direct experience. Stepping beyond the ego's fear does not mean eliminating fear altogether. It means taking action despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in its presence. Every time we face our fears and push beyond them, we expand our perception of what is possible. What once seemed impossible becomes part of our reality. This is how growth occurs. Not through avoidance, but through conscious engagement with the unknown. Many of the greatest transformations in life happen when we dare to step beyond comfort and into uncertainty. Whether it is pursuing a new opportunity, ending an unhealthy relationship, speaking our truth, or embracing change. Each step beyond the ego's fear leads to deeper self-discovery and personal evolution. The mind will always seek to keep us within the familiar, but the soul longs for expansion. When we no longer allow the ego to dictate our choices, we experience a newfound freedom. We stop living in a state of hesitation and start embracing life with openness and trust. Moving forward is not about force or struggle. It is about surrendering the illusions of limitation and stepping into the infinite possibilities that exist beyond them. Many people see life as a series of destinations, goals to achieve, milestones to reach, and external accomplishments to check off. They believe that happiness, success, or fulfillment exists somewhere in the future, waiting for them at the end of their journey. However, this perception creates an endless cycle of striving where true contentment always feels just out of reach. The reality is that life is not a destination, but an ongoing flow, an ever-unfolding process of learning, growth, and transformation. When we become overly focused on reaching a specific outcome, we miss the richness of the present moment. We convince ourselves that we'll be happy when we get the promotion, find the perfect relationship, or achieve a personal goal. But as soon as we reach that milestone, the mind immediately moves to the next one, never allowing us to fully appreciate where we are. This creates a sense of constant dissatisfaction because fulfillment is always tied to something outside of the present. True progress does not come from racing toward a final destination. It comes from embracing the journey itself. Every experience, whether joyful or challenging, contributes to our growth. The setbacks, failures, and detours are not obstacles to our path, they are part of it. Each step forward, no matter how small, is valuable because it shapes who we are becoming. When we shift our mindset from outcome-driven thinking to present moment awareness, we begin to see that fulfillment is available to us right now. The beauty of life is not in reaching a final point, but in experiencing each moment fully. When we stop waiting for the perfect conditions to be happy, we discover that peace, joy, and purpose exist in the here and now. This perspective also helps us navigate uncertainty with greater ease. If we believe that life must follow a rigid plan, we become frustrated when things do not go as expected. But when we understand that life is a flow rather than a fixed path, we become more adaptable. Instead of resisting change, we learn to move with it, trusting that each twist and turn is guiding us toward deeper understanding. Personal growth is a continuous process, not a final achievement. There is no point at which we arrive and have everything figured out. Even the most successful, wise, and enlightened individuals are still learning and evolving. When we accept this, we free ourselves from the pressure of needing to have all the answers. Instead, we approach life with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to grow. Every moment is an opportunity to move forward, not toward a distant goal, but toward a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us. Life is not meant to be a race to an endpoint. It is meant to be lived, experienced, and appreciated in its unfolding. When we stop chasing and start flowing, we find that we are already where we need to be, The journey itself is the destination, and every step forward is a meaningful part of it. Moving forward in life is not about rushing toward a final destination or resisting the unknown. It is about embracing the present, letting go of fear, and trusting in the natural flow of existence. Challenges are not barriers, they are opportunities for growth. Stillness is not stagnation. It is the space where clarity and purpose emerge. Fear is not reality. It is a creation of the mind that dissolves when we step beyond it. When we shift from reacting to responding, from controlling to allowing, and from striving to being, we unlock a deeper sense of freedom. Life is not a straight path with an end goal. It is a continuous unfolding, an ever-changing experience that invites us to evolve with each moment. The future is not something we need to chase. It is something we create with every step we take in the present. Keep moving forward, not with force or fear, but with trust, presence, and an open heart. The journey itself is where life happens, and each moment holds the power to shape something new. Let go, embrace the unknown, and step forward with grace.